There was a message today. Someone asked, she wants to build muscle and tone, not necessarily lose weight. So just keep in mind that you need to be in a calorie surplus, meaning you have to eat more food in order to put on muscle. It's very difficult to put on muscle in calorie deficit unless you are overweight and you already have body fat. So we need body fat in order to put on muscle. If you have body fat, you can put on muscle and be in calorie deficit. But if you are thin, then you need to be in calorie surplus to put on muscle. So if you're thin and you're eating 1,200 calories, you're not going to be able to put on muscle. So for someone who's under 130 pounds, wants to put on muscle, needs to eat 1,800 calories. So if you fear of gaining weight, then you're not going to put on muscle. So you have to work on your mind not to fear gaining weight, because to put on muscle is by gaining weight. Once you put on that muscle, because it could take up to 6 to 8 months to put on muscle, it's not that easy, then you will cut back on the fat, go into a calorie deficit, and then the muscle you've built will be revealed. Okay? So when I started, it took me 6 months to be like, oh snap, okay, yeah, wow, this is really working. 6 months. And then at 8 months, it was more. And then at 10 months is when I started to cut the fat. Make sense? Okay? So last thing I'll tell you about the gaining weight, losing weight. No matter what, you really need to put on muscle. That's number one. So if you're ever in the feeling of I gotta lose weight, try to stop with the I gotta lose weight, and think of I have to build muscle, I have to build muscle. Because the more muscle you build, the faster your body is gonna start to burn fat later. This is bodybuilding, you guys. It's bodybuilding. It's not just weight loss, it's bodybuilding. Building, not bodybuilding, but building a body. So for a person who wants to build a body, to have a nice physique in the future, take the time to try and get out of your mindset of losing weight and come into the mindset of toning the body, building muscle, learning how to eat, like baby steps. Sometimes if you really get too crazy with the scale, I would even tell you like, enough with the scale, just focus on being present, focus on not looking at the TV, get a mirror. If you still have not gotten a mirror, you gotta get a mirror. Hold on, I know I'm talking too much. I'll show you what I did today. Somebody came over today. Look, this is my mirror that's been here all the time, and now look. Boop, boop, I got another mirror. This mirror was supposed to go in my son's bathroom, but they ordered the wrong mirror, and so the guys were going to throw this out. And I was like, wait, don't throw the mirror out. Let's put it here, because you see I had extra wall space. And when I get really close to this wall, I couldn't see myself, right? Because my cameras are over there. So now I have this mirror. So if I'm standing here, I can see myself. And if I need to back up closer to this wall, I can still see myself. You always want to see yourself, because that's when you learn your form. That's when you see your muscles more. When you're lifting, you see the pump. You really need to see what you're doing. That's my biggest thing I'm trying to make you do, is see yourselves, not see me. Okay? Form is important. Let me show you how important one more exercise that's more easy to understand form, okay? Let's say we're doing lunges. It's lunge back, okay? I sometimes do this for legs, so it's lunge back, bring in the knee. 1. You see my foot just went down? I broke the exercise. It's supposed to be lunge, boom. Lunge, boom. Lunge, boom. See how my foot doesn't stop? right? You want that form. And then sometimes I'm like, And if I lost balance, I lost my form, guess what? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Whew. Okay, start over. I fell. That doesn't count. Start over. Boom. 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 Doesn't count. Start over. That's a muscle requires a constant pump. Constant pump. Just like your heart pumps your blood. Okay? Like that. Pump, 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 pump. Except the muscle is not like a heart. The heart is the biggest muscle in our body because the heart is always pumping. And gee, we all wish that the muscles in our body did the same thing. And so imagine that's what the rest of your muscles are like. It's like the heart, except it doesn't pump 24/7. It only pumps here when you are holding the dumbbell and you're pumping it. So that's why so many people online or bodybuilders, if you follow any, everybody, you see people go like, oh, duh, because that's when the pump happened. After the hour of workout, now they have the pump. That's when they take their best pictures. We take our best pictures first thing in the morning, butt naked, when there's no food in the stomach. Every time you see me, I take off my shaper and I'm like, ooh, 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 yeah, yeah. But then I start drinking coffee, drinking water, eating, and this all comes here and it stays here. And then I'm not so like, anymore. Unless I walk around like this and I don't. You know what I'm saying? Okay? So if you ever see people online posing with their pump, they just finished the workout, they're in the right light, they're in the right atmosphere, they feel pumped, they feel good. And so that's why on Instagram you always see, okay? Because it's a very short moment in your life, my life. As soon as that exercise is over, that's the pump. And if you didn't do the pump long enough and you lost your balance, there's no pump. And you have to start over. That's why we do 4 sets, because that's how long it takes to get that pump. Because if you don't have the pump, you haven't reached the orgasm, you're just constantly living in foreplay. And if you're always living in foreplay and you can't reach the orgasm, you have to keep trying. So you have to do harder foreplay to reach the orgasm. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Any questions? Does that help? Does that make sense? Is there any confusion? Because in addition to what I just said, the nutrition has to be on point to the T in order to reach that pump, in order to have that energy, in order to lift harder, in order to lift longer, in order to lift more. Okay? That's what creatine is for. Creatine helps to lift longer, to lift more. That's what pre-workout does. Pre-workout helps you work out longer. Pre-workout helps you work out harder. So that's why there's all these stimulants, if you will, to help the person be more efficient with their workout. Does that make sense? So again, this is why you have to, if you have any struggles eating protein, I wake up in the morning and I think protein. I go to bed, I think protein. I'm drinking alcohol, I'm thinking protein. I make alcoholic protein shakes. I make anything with protein. You have to think protein first. Protein first, because that's what will feed the muscles that are working here. The reason we eat carbs, the carbs give you energy to work out. The fat we eat protects the muscles and the bones. That's why those macronutrients are so important. Anything outside of that, that's McDonald's, Subway, potato chips, those are all not macronutrients. It still gives you some energy, but it also makes you tired, lethargic, not perform at the gym very well, blah, blah, blah. So what you put into your body, you have to start being mindful of what you're putting into your body. And I'm not saying not to eat McDonald's or Subway or potato chips. I'm just saying to be mindful. So for example, this morning I took a bite of my kid's bagel. I chewed it. I got the taste. I spit it out. And then my son's like, why are you spitting it out? I was like, well, it's gluten. If I swallow it, I'm going to blow up because I can't have gluten, and there was a gluten bagel. And so I can't have gluten, especially I don't want to be bloated in the morning. Okay? So I spit it out like that. Not that I'm anorexic or anything, trying to spit out food. But it all matters, okay? And so I'm just being mindful of what I knew. If I take the bite of a bagel and swallow it, I know I'm going to be bloated because of celiac disease. So you need to be mindful of all your choices. Then this whole thing just makes it so much easier, okay?